Get over here next to me. Okay, so this is Teresa, and we are getting ready to talk about the NTheknow radio talk show, and I have a wonderful guest. Now, you notice, all my guests I know for a long period of time, and so I can validate that they're wonderful people, do excellent work, and anytime I need a photographer to cover an event.
I'm only second on the list.
Anytime I need a photographer
Second
to
on
cover an event, you're always the first on, whether it's my mom's events, my friends.
Now, I have done at least 2 of your mother's events, 3 of your personal events.
Yes. Personal events. And see, that's the difference. When I'm doing a large event and it's several photographers and stuff like that, it's whoever comes in. I'm not, using them for that. But it's a personal event, then it has to be somebody that I personally know, that I know is going to capture the audience the correct way. I don't like a lot of still pictures. Let me pose for you.
Yes, you do. You love them. But
I love them of me.
Yeah.
I'll be like, Frank, wait, get this one right.
Yeah, but there's one thing that comes with LP on the scene, Dallas. And LP is I do interact with you directly.
Yes, you do. You do.
And you can tell if I like you or not.
Yes, you do. Yes, you can. If he doesn't like you, you may get one picture, and that would be it all night long.
But if
he likes you,
I'll tell you.
One of my friends at one of my events, Rashana, you remember Rashana?
Vaguely.
Rashana Dangerfield. She had the real estate, and she made you her personal photographer for a while. You had to tell her, hold on. Okay, I got your crew enough. I gotta move on.
Yeah, I worked it. Now yes, I know who Rashonda is.
Yes, Rashana.
Well, excuse me, Rashana.
Yes,
excuse me.
Yes, that's my girl.
No, but I'm like that. If I'm working for you, I'm working for you, and people often want me to cater to them directly. And if I'm being paid by certain individuals, especially somebody as tall and gorgeous as this, you don't want to have to answer to it because there's a chance you might get your feelings hurt.
That's what he says. Now, Frank, Lott's photography. How long have you been in this space?
Since 1997.
Oh, wow.
So I dibbled and dabbled, started out, and back in 97, somebody paid me to do something. I didn't go to school for it. I just picked up a camera and just started getting better and better, basically. Okay,
so did you have a desire, or it just kind of fell in your lap?
I was a shutterbug all the time. So, it was just something. I got to the point where I just put a lot of energy into it, and I was loving the result. It's like looking at a pretty woman, You put on the right dress, and it's like, damn.
Looking through that lens.
Well, I'm just saying that's the analogy. It's an analogy.
You see, he turned around looking in my eyes. Y'all caught that?
Well, I'm good at that. I do believe in eye contact. I do believe in eye contact.
You saw it. I was like, okay, dreamy eyes. But Frank.
Yours too.
I'm glad.
Track star.
Yes, you didn't know that about me, did you?
Well, I like being a fly on the wall. That's what comes with the territory I live in. From K104 to 105. I didn't put down 107.5, but I got to know all the jocks there at that period of time when it was urbanized.
Yes.
And I was privy to just being that fly on the wall. I get to learn a lot of things, and even a masterpiece session with Skip Cheatham once was. I can't tell you, but it was interesting.
Interesting. That's what the guys were saying. The what do they call engineers that are doing all this behind the scenes? They were like, "Oh, this is look, that's my smartwatch, and it's telling me to do something, but I'm not going to do it. It's telling me to go exercise.
It's my time right now.
Yeah, it is his time. And so, Frank, when you're looking through the lens of a camera, how do you determine the shot that you're going to make?
Composition is always determined on whether it's going to be a pose shot, but if it's a candid action shot, movement, however you want to say it, you have to just judge at that time, and that comes with practice. How you're going to tell that story. The framing of the picture, the composition is all about what's occurring. And if you can tell a story with that motion, that action, then generally that's what that's the reason you're looking at it at that point in time. But you've got to really understand what's going on, because a lot of people get pissed at me because at the times I'm watching and observing a room when anything and everything and nothing is going on, and then something is going on. If I'm not paying attention and reading the room, I'm going to miss something.
Right.
And a lot of people always want me to know, you can relax now, you can eat, you can have a drink. I said, I'm on duty, and if I sit down and eat, something's going to pop off. And generally that's how it works. I'll have a mouthful of food. Oh, Frank, come here. Now, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, you ain't even call my name. I'm already there.
Right.
And you can testify to that.
I can testify.
Because I've caught her with her mouth open several times.
And Frank is always there, and he's doing a great job. So a lot of times people take photographers for granted. And let me say what I'm referencing to is that when you come into a room and you're taking pictures and everything, they just think you're taking pictures. But it's so much more work behind the scenes once the pictures are taken.
Well, let me go back what you started with. Yes, with cell phones and people with the point and shoots and everything, they do take us for granted for the simple reason they want to tell their story and they want to tell it their way. My job, if I'm not yet, but when I am conscripted, I like to use big words, conscripted to do a job. Conscripted.
Okay. That means getting paid.
True that. It's my job to actually understand exactly what's going on, and that comes with that initial interview. You talk to your client. You're supposed to talk to your client. You're supposed to understand what's going on. You have to have an understanding of what you're going to capture before you capture it. Otherwise, it's a free melee. And another thing about that is, with cell phones and point and shoots, there's a certain amount of etiquette. I'm not exactly the tenderest person to work with, but I get the point across. I mean, I generally let you take your picture first or after, but we can't do it at the same time.
Yeah, and a lot of times people do that. They see a photographer getting ready to take a picture, and they look at what he's going to take the picture of, or she's going to take the picture, and then they jump over there and try to take the picture. That is bad etiquette.
True.
I do it too. So
never.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's gonna be a good picture. Let me get.
But see, the
so
point
is it the flash messing you up or what?
It's a combination of things, because the composition is always by light and position.
Okay.
Because your party, you had about 5 different angles on the group shot.
Yeah.
and only about 2 of them were flattering, but it just depended on the position everybody was in. The light was great, but if you're too far right, okay, you're gonna get a perspective that's not too flattering.
Yeah, like big head, big body. I'm like, I like to get in the middle. I don't want to be on those ends, because depending on the angle, it's like
you're a shapely woman. That's the best way. You're a shapely woman.
Okay.
Everybody knows where everything is. Now that being said, you just got to understand how the story's being told. Now, naturally, if you the head guy and want to get paid, you the main man. I like to say it's my room. If I'm getting paid, it's my room, and I own it literally. So I am. But anyway, I make sure I get the right perspective. And a lot of people just don't understand that, and then they get home and they look at it, they chimp it, is what you call it when you constantly look at a picture. You chimp it and you review it, and you say, that doesn't look right. Yeah, because all you did was just take a picture. You didn't compose a picture. And they said, well, just because you got a big camera. I said, baby, I can take a cell phone and make it work.
Yeah. And I think, too, is a lot of times people just want that instant gratification. Let me post first. I like to take the time when we do events and things of that nature. I mean, even if you notice with my parties or things that I take pictures of, people are always like, why did you take so long to post it the next day or this and that? I said, because I'm conscious of not just me and how I look in a picture. I'm conscious of how you look in a picture.
Well, a lot of people have recently, in the last 4 years since I've been, as Percy even said, my clientele has shifted because I've been doing this so long.
Mm-hmm.
And, you didn't post the pictures. I wasn't supposed to.
Exactly.
That wasn't my job. I was required to come in and cover it. They have the files.
Yeah, they have to post it. Yeah,
they have control.
And they should have control over it, because, if I pay you to take my pictures, then I want to go through my pictures and determine which ones I want to post, not for you to determine that. Correct. And then, too, with social media now and everywhere you go, you really don't have any type of privacy anymore. This Facebook Live, you're sitting there, you're enjoying yourself, having a conversation, and then you look up and somebody's right there in your face and they're recording your whole conversation. That's just awful. Anyway, we're talking about that.
Well,
It has nothing to do with photography, but
I'm sorry. It's a shame when you're pretty, everybody wants you. Anyway, I just had to add that. You know, you pretty women, I would name some names, but you know, y'all so absorbed and you get mad when somebody else is trying to be absorbed along with you. But it is rude.
What did they do?
They call stalkers.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll just simple like they call stalkers.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to come up and say, hey, you know, you single, you know, just talk to the person. But back to me. It's all about me today, sir.
Okay. Tell me, Frank, do you do a review with your clients? What do you?
That's one thing.
If I want to be your client, what can I expect from you?
That's one thing I need to start implementing is that post. I think you're talking about after the post review.
Pre and post.
Well, especially, I don't do weddings for one main reason. Most of the time, it's a disorganized mess.
Oh, wow.
Well, you know that.
I don't go to a lot of weddings.
I'm talking about the ones that you've been involved with, that you were that tight with. I hate to put it like that, but if you're not that close to the person and you are involved with it, there's a certain amount of organized chaos that goes along with it.
Yeah.
That's natural. But when it's just chaos and no organization whatsoever, because I've always insisted on the writer party to get there before.
Yeah, to take the pre-pictures.
Take
right?
those shots. That way I don't have to spend an hour to take you away from your reception that you're paying for, which makes no sense. We got to get these shots. And, you know, a lot of times it's kind of hard to, you know, take pictures and say, okay. And I have to do that now. I send you a client shot list. And I tell you, what you tell me to shoot, that's what's going to get shot. Now, when you bring up Amy from Missouri and Homegirl from Idaho and all this business, I'm going to start charging because we had this structure for a reason, because it's time. Because, I mean, I had to stop doing weddings for a long time because I'd spend 6 hours and I'm getting paid $300.
Oh, wow.
That didn't equate, but I mean, you know, it was the joy and the love, and I had to turn it back into business. It's like
back into business. Yeah.
So, you know, we need to schedule this. We need to go by.
It's just like when they rent out a facility, they have a certain many of hours that they can stay in it, and they pay for that rate.
You don't have to worry about that because they kick you out.
Yeah, exactly. Same difference with a photographer. Same difference with a photographer. Now, I see you a lot because I know you're in the press too, and so you take pictures of concerts, different things that are going on, plays, anything that's happening out there in the community. So, are you a reporter, photographer?
It's called photojournalist.
Photojournalist.
Photojournalist is what it's practically called. Because with me being a shutterbug, a friend of mine.
What's a shutterbug?
Shutterbug. Somebody who just likes to take pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, you could be called one.
I am. I love taking pictures.
Offered me.
How do I monetize that though?
We'll talk about that off there. My introduction to the concerts and festivals was a friend that lived up the street, and she was working for K104 SBC. And, you know, it's just happenstance. It's like, Frank, I need somebody to take some pictures of these events that the station's doing and you can do. Okay. And basically, that's how they work.
But you get compensated, hopefully.
Oh, I got paid.
Yeah, I got paid. That's what's up.
But, I mean, that's really what helped my brand grow.
Okay.
And those connections, because, like I say, that was over 1997, over 20 years now. And those relationships in the last 6 years have helped me grow my LP on the Scene, Dallas.
Okay, LP on the Scene, Dallas. And tell us about that.
And my angels always call it LP on the Scene because they don't.
He has angels.
Well, I didn't name them, but you know they got named Angels. But you know,
what did the angels do?
Well, you know, most of the time I realized people didn't want to see me talking to anybody, so they would actually. Like, you know, you're nice Amazon, you know, they'll tune in and look at you for 5 minutes.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, so it wasn't about the content, it was about, like Percy said, it's how you presented the package. So I realized I had to package it a little different, especially on YouTube, because it's all about the views and the clicks. You know, so you got to give people what they want. You have to give them some content, you got to give them some eye candy. So I just worked that out, and the brand has grown.
Okay, so where can they see that?
That is LP on the Scene Dallas YouTube. I have 2 channels, LP on the Scene Dallas 1 and LP on the Scene Dallas. The LP on the Scene Dallas without the 1 has mostly celebrities.
Oh, okay, so you go around to all these different events and you film and do stuff.
Well, I came back to those relationships, like we have a reciprocal relationship about certain things. Those relationships pay off. I had the name drop with Corey Holcomb at the Addison Improv. A friend that was a manager allowed me to interview several people about 4 years ago. And, Corey didn't know me from Adam, and I had to name drop the right name. And then to get to talk to him, I got in. That was not the problem. It's just, okay, can I trust you? Is the thing, especially with anybody, even you. They might know NTheknow, but do I really want to give you that time and that privilege to actually understand the inner workings of whatever's going on, what that might be?
Okay.
And when you look that high, well, you have that much exposure. You just have to be careful. Who you talk.
Yeah,
because they're gonna take it and run with it.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's just part of the business.
Just part of the business. So, how long have you been working in the Dallas-Fort Metroplex area?
All my life. I'm homegrown.
Are you from here?
I'm from here.
Where?
Oh, I'm sorry. Booker T. Washington edition.
Booker T. Washington.
For all those folks who don't know where that is, that's a part of Old North Dallas, which is down the street from the studios here.
Okay.
But it's all built up, Happy Dads and all that good stuff back off there.
Okay, so if someone wants to book you,
the best thing to do is go to Facebook.
Okay.
Frank A. Lott or Lott's Photography /LP on the scene Dallas.
Okay, well, you're going to have to say that again, and you're going to have to slow it down so they can actually hear it.
I'm sorry, I'm not used to working the mic and having a pretty woman over my shoulder.
All these compliments. Whoa.
I'm good. That's Lott's Photography /LP, which stands for Lott's Photography. That's, people don't really get it. It's easier to say LP instead of Lott's Photography on the scene Dallas. So that clarifies everything. So that's Lott's Photography /LP on the scene Dallas on Facebook and YouTube also.
All right.
And
so do you have any Valentine specials or anything going on for Valentine's that you can take some cute pictures for some people?
Right now, I don't really do all that. I'm gonna have to expand that. I've actually just.
You're more on the scene type of deal.
Well, I'm
doing
more
an event and
events, personal stuff.
Yeah.
But I might get with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, but
special package for the Valentine girls to get.
Get you dressed all up and nice swimsuit with some wings on.
Ooh.
With a wand.
I used to have a swimsuit. Look at you.
Well,
Frank is such a flirt.
Ah, damn! I learned from the best.
Me? You learned that from me?
I said the best. You're not just one. You're just one.
I'm just one. You have plenty angels. I forgot.
Yeah. Oh, well, let me shout out to Lynn Hayes. And Latricia Cleveland. Sunshine Scott on Facebook, but her name is Naomi Scott, the network queen.
Okay.
And last but not least, Lisa Ramsey, the Diva of Events.
Oh yes, Lisa, that is my girl, Diva Events. She's going to be on next week talking about Diva of Events.
Yeah,
and that all connects together. I think sometimes like when you are going to plan an event, that you should have a network of individuals that provide quality. And so like Diva Events, if you need an event, then Frank Lott would be the photographer. And then we have some people for sound and everything else. So you want to get into our network, right? Network is what it's about, right?
Well, it's about how you value whatever you're doing. And if you value your event and you want the best representation and results, you want to go to people who understand the ins and outs of it. So you want a photographer that knows what he's doing. You won't be saying, "Oh, I'm out of batteries and my camera's broke." I couldn't get in touch with that venue, so we're gonna have to move it. Things like that. Just people who can handle the details and solve problems. When you say you're a professional, basically all that means is if you have a problem, they can solve it. That's what being a professional is all about.
He's the problem solver.
Well, I'm just saying, people don't understand. That's the reason you pay us. But you pay us because, we've already stumbled, failed, but it's about being able to succeed with a bad situation or failure. we aim not to fail, but to succeed. But you will have problems, and you have to be a problem solver. It's the best way to put it. You're a professional as a problem solver.
Okay. Last question, and then we're going to close out, Frank. I know you do photography with your camera. Do you do anything as far as video?
That's what LP on Scene Dallas is. It's
okay.
More or less an urban slice of life, depending on whether it's celebrity or I have a friend now who's wanting me to do a fashion show next week. We haven't closed the deal yet, but it's at 324 East Beltline in DeSoto. They opened up a little kind of bizarre situation there. Ronnie, A-S-E, Ronnie J.
Is that the one that just opened up the clothing?
Yes.
And it's African clothing attire.
Correct.
Is that correct? Yeah, I need to get him on the show. It's Black History Month.
We can get Pettigrew. I'm shot. Yeah, I can make that
happen. Okay, that's what's up. That's what up. Well, I just want to thank you, Frank. Frank is my good friend. Now, I don't normally kiss people on camera, but I just did because he is a friend. So you won't get that treatment when you come up here if I don't know you. So don't be like,
they just think I'm a big old teddy bear.
Yeah, he's a big old teddy bear. You just gotta love him. Takes the best pictures.
Talk to you bad.
Talk to you bad. My favorite thing with him is like when he's taking pictures, sometimes he just does his camera like this. And it's like, you get that shot. And then he turns it around and the shot is just amazing. So, I mean, he has that technique.
It's called muscle memory.
Muscle memory. Okay, we're learning new words. Muscle memory. And what was that other word that you used about getting paid? What was that word? That big word you threw out there? Do you remember?
No, procurement is another word.
Procurement is another word.
You must procure your funds first.
Yes.
Before you do any work.
That means
be paid.
Look, back in the day, we all used to say, okay, let me go ahead and put your ad together. Let me go ahead and send out your email blast. And then this is me coming from marketing. And then on the back end, they send us a check. Now, as it continued to evolve and you ran into those shady shades,
well,
they stopped paying you on the back end. So we always got to get our money on the front end.
You see this is what you have to do if you're really trying to do something constructive. It has to be written down.
Yeah, contracts.
Yeah.
Big contracts.
So corporate people, you can do the work and then
get paid because corporate people.
Well, they work on 120, 180 rotation on payables. Payables, not just check payables. But when you're dealing with a entrepreneur,
yes,
they generally either don't budget or just don't have a budget.
Right.
And that's when you have to say, okay, I don't need a chicken or some eggs, but there's got to be some type of exchange.
Exchange, whether it's a barter or cash up front. I like cash. I'm a good person at doing cash and bartering. So a lot of times if you're doing events and things of that nature and it's supporting a cause, then I'm going to say, okay, we can do this. We can do a deal.
I'm going to say this on the air. Now, I have 2 charities I deal with, and that means I just give that away. United Way, Suji Coleman, they pay some folks to get all those beautiful ads together. That's not free. They might give them a discount or something, but guess what? They have a budget for marketing.
Yes.
And that part of the marketing is print, radio, social media, video, and photography. It's a 5-pronged thing. But they have a budget. They work them deals out with them folks. They go to an agency, but they work deals out. Now, as a small business owner, I haven't started the production company yet, but the point is this. You have to get that stuff straight to begin with before you start rolling anything. Okay, do you have anything? I'm talking to the charities now because everybody wants you to do the church, this and that. Can't do it for free. Love you to death. Can't do it for free. But you have to, meet me halfway. Okay, what can you give me? And I'll tell you how long I'll be there.
That's exactly right.
And I need you to be organized and you know what you want. Well, you gotta wait. It's not my fault that they ain't here. It's, when that happens, if it's business or if it's organized, okay, I'll tell you what, they ain't here. Next. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
The show must go on.
Show must go on. And I want to thank you again, Frank, for coming out and taking some time up with your girl. This is Teresa with the In the Know radio
Yeah,
show.
well,
I keep wanting to say NTheknow.com.
Yeah, with that
radio
winking,
show.
winking eye.
That winking eye. Y'all know that winking eye.
Winking eye.
I'm winking at ya. Winking. It's winking. Not
Winking.
winking. It's winking. It's winking.
Colloquial,
Wink.
urban,
Wink.
ebonic,
Wink. Ebonic. Winking. But winking.
winking.
Winking. Winking. Like that. Winking. Winking.
I don't know why you even trying that.
Okay, I'm trying. Y'all just look at my eye on the website, NTheknow.com.
Just look at her
Thank you.
eyes and she'll wink at you.
I wink at you because I'm a little flirt sometimes.
No.
Sometimes.